Hey guys, this is Jabroni, and I'm just making a quick video to do a real quick overview on the different type of air attacks that you can do that can be at least conservative enough that you'll definitely get the 2-star, but it has a chance for 3 stars. And the first one I want to look at is a dragon attack, where what I did is I had a Yeti blimp, and I used my heroes, which I'll put here in red, to take out with the Barb King in front, then the Queen, to take out this stuff here. And my goal was to get out this air defense, which I think my Royal Champion ended up getting. And so once you take out that corner, then you basically have a choice to bring your dragons from either here, or you could bring the dragons from here towards the town hall. Now, with having a Yeti blimp, that gives you great flexibility where if you don't want to come from the 6 o'clock corner down here with your dragons, you could come from this area with the dragons, and then you could bring a Yeti blimp from behind, because all of your balloons and your dragons are going to soak up the Seeking Air Mines. You could bring a Yeti blimp to go towards the town hall and then use a rage spell just to make sure that you're getting the town hall down with no problem. All right, so my Barb King comes down as a temporary tank for my Archer Queen. I waited a little bit before I put my Royal Champion down. She comes. I also used a baby dragon and a test balloon down here. Test balloon first before the baby dragon in case there's a Seeking Air Mine. I didn't know that the Teslas were going to be here, but my Barb King actually takes out at least one of them. At this point, I was a little worried that I was not going to get the air defense down, but fortunately, using my Royal Champ's ability, which I used very soon around here, yep, here it is, it can one-shot an archer, sorry, it can one-shot an air defense, which made that ideal. I like to also bring an archer with me to put at a corner. So I think at this point I'm waiting to see where can I put my archer down to try to get the ice golem away from where the dragons are going to come. Unfortunately, the archer I put down at that corner got shot by the archer tower. But, you know, it's good. It's good sometimes to have an archer if you do lure out the CC and there's ice golems there, or even witches. Having an archer to put in a corner will make the skeletons or the ice golems go to that corner, so that way your dragons don't get stuck on the skeletons or stuck on the ice golems. All right, so like I had said before, in hindsight, I wish I did not use the dragons from this 12 to 2 o'clock side. I wish I would have used the blimp there instead and brought my dragons down from 6 to 5 o'clock. I did not use my freeze spells very well. I should have froze the air defense and the scatter shot at the same time, so that was not very smart on my part. I'm still working on the best place to use a heal spell. I think I tend to use it a little early. Yeah, so as you can see, this is not going to be 3 stars, but it was conservative enough, kind of like a Yeti attack. It's kind of similar to a Yeti attack where you create a funnel, you bring in your Yetis, and if you need to use the Yeti blimp to take down the town hall, you can. Yetis are very beefy, but they can be slow. Dragons are very beefy. They can be slow. So in some ways, it's kind of similar to a Yeti attack. Again, this is only a 65, 66% 2-star. At this point, I'm waiting to see where can I put my minions down. I like to bring a couple minions to help with cleanup. On this attack, it didn't really do much at all to help. But as you're planning a dragon attack, you might want to consider bringing maybe 2 or 3 or 4 minions to help with cleanup. All right, this next attack I want to show you guys is a mass E-Drags attack. And on this one, I used my heroes to take out this area here. And then I brought my E-Drags, I think this way. And again, to be conservative, if you bring a Yeti blimp, you could then use it a little delayed to bring it behind where the E-Drags come. Or to be honest, I don't know why I didn't just bring the Yeti blimp right here. You'll use freeze spells, I'll tell you right now, sweepers can definitely be the enemy of not only dragons, but definitely E-Drags, because E-Drags are so slow. So you have to pay attention to which way the sweepers are pointing, and make sure that your E-Drags aren't going to have to fight them, or if they are going to have to fight them, you're going to have to freeze those air sweepers. All right, so like I said before, similar to the plan with the dragons, I like to use my heroes to take out a corner, hopefully an air defense, and to then it helps to establish the funnel, giving your E-Drags a nice, clear, predictable path. You don't want them to have too wide and unpredictable of a path. You want them to have a nice, predictable path to path along. So the Queen and the Royal Champion is doing a lot of good work here. Oh, that's right. My Royal Champion took out the air sweeper and the air defense. So that was really ideal. I took out 2 air defenses using my Queen with the King in front as cover and my Royal Champion. You could also bring your Royal Champion behind the dragons or E-Dragons. The only problem with that is if she lures out the enemy CC, and like I said earlier, if that enemy CC has ice golems or witches that spawn skeletons, you do not want your E-Drags or dragons to get stuck having to fight those ground troops, which the Royal Champion would lure out. That's why I do not recommend using a Royal Champion coming behind dragons and E-Drags if they're going to go in the radius of the enemy clan castle building. So I did use the blimp, like I said in my drawing, to come behind the E-Drags and take out the Town Hall's insurance. Again, maybe in hindsight, I shouldn't have done that, because my E-Drags did take down that Town Hall. So maybe I could have brought the blimp instead from maybe 5 o'clock moving towards the Town Hall and taking out that Inferno and Scattershot and that air sweeper. That might have been probably a better plan. So the one thing that's very different about War compared to Legends League, you only have 30 seconds to plan. I find War, you have all the time to plan that you want. So use that time that you have in War to make a plan. And then an attack like this, which ended up being, an 80% or mid 80% 2-star, maybe you could actually get it to be, a 3-star. And it's still a pretty conservative air attack. Not really that much skill to it. You create a funnel with the heroes, you bring your E-Drags, you use the Yeti blimp wherever you feel is best to use it, maybe to take down the Town Hall, or maybe to take down a key target. The last attack I'm going to show you guys is a LaLoon attack. Your main objectives are to take down the enemy Queen, which on this base she was here, near the Town Hall. You also want to ideally take down some other type of key targets. If you can take down the Town Hall along with the Queen, that would be ideal. If you can take down the Eagle along with the Queen, or maybe an air sweeper or air defense or scattershot, any of those things along with the Queen would be ideal. And that's going to determine if you need to have like other troops coming along with your hero push, whether it's a P.E.K.K.A. or an ice golem. In this case, you'll see I did use an ice golem as a tank for my heroes. And so basically what I did on this, I think I also had 2 baby dragons. I used one of them here and another one here with a test balloon in front. And so I brought my heroes to take down the enemy Queen, and I also had a poison spell for the enemy CC troops. Then what I did is I brought a lava hound, which I will put here in yellow. I brought it at this air defense, and I brought some balloons, which I'll put here in blue, behind. And once they took that out, and I used, I think, a haste spell as well, I brought another lava hound. It initially started going this way and then redirected towards this air defense, and then I brought more balloons. I generally recommend going in a clockwise or counterclockwise motion with your balloon deployment. In hindsight, this was not really the best way to hit this base, but again, with Legends League attacks, you only have 30 seconds to plan. So that's what I did. I did bring the blimp, which I'll put here in black, to come behind the balloons and lava hounds, a little delayed, and it went towards the town hall. Now, I honestly, maybe again, shouldn't have done that because my balloons ended up coming and pathing towards the town hall, and I was able to use my warden's ability to keep the balloons alive as they took down that town hall. So if I would have known that that was going to happen with my balloons, then maybe I would have brought my blimp and used it to take out maybe this compartment here, which then would have given me a nice predictable path for my balloons to come in kind of an L formation, which is the kind of path you normally want Hog Riders to go in as well, for those of you familiar with Hog Rider attacks. So this is obviously not as simple of as an attack as the Dragons and E-Drags, because you have to be very quick with going Lava Hounds and switching to your balloons, and then you also have minions that you need to use to clean up. You'll see with my attack, I did not do a great job with getting my minions down quick enough. In fact, let's go ahead and take a look at that attack. All right, so again, you always have to plan for the enemy queen with LaLoon attacks, and so only having 30 seconds to plan, I decided to bring my heroes with an Ice Golem in front. When I say heroes, I mean the Barb King and the Archer Queen, not the Grand Warden. On all of these attack styles I'm showing you, with these air attacks, you want the Grand Warden to follow the main portion of your air attack, which is the Dragons or the E-Drags, or in this case, the Lava Hound and balloons. So I use my Barb King and my Queen to take down the enemy queen. I did not use my Royal Champion. Maybe I should have. Maybe I could have taken down the Expos or the Scattershot, but the Royal Champion could have gotten stuck on the enemy CC troops. So I elected to use my Royal Champion to come with the LaLoon portion of the attack. Oh, so this attack was interesting because I did not get all the lava pups taken out from my queen or the couple of minions that I also tried to use. So I lured them over away from where I was going to bring my LaLoon part and away from where a mortar could have shot down my archer tower. And then you'll see I brought 2 minions to eventually finish up the lava pups. Did I have to do that? Maybe not. Maybe my lava pups or minions could have killed the enemy lava pups while my LaLoon was going on. I don't know. But that's what I chose to do. So you'll see I did use a haste spell here. And I brought my Royal Champion. Oh, this is why I recommend sometimes bringing the Royal Champion with the LaLoon part. The enemy Royal Champion, you don't want her shooting down your balloons. So I brought my Royal Champion to help take care of the enemy Royal Champion. All right. I knew there was a good reason why I did that. All right, so I'm trying to go in a clockwise motion here with my balloons and my Lava Hound. I did freeze the Scattershot. I do recommend having at least 2 freeze spells for the enemy Scattershots. I also recommend a heal spell to come with LaLoon attacks. You'll see at this point I realize my balloons are going to be over the town hall when it goes down, so I had to use my warden's ability to keep my balloons alive, which was good timing because of the scatter shot that was also starting to hit the balloons at that time. Generally, I recommend 4 or maybe 5 haste spells with LaLoon attacks. You could use a rage spell over the eagle or over the town hall. Sometimes you could use the rage spell with the hero push part of your attack. That could be a matter of being base dependent. It could be a matter of personal choice or part of the plan. I did not need the wall breakers that I brought for the hero push, so I tried to distract the wizard tower there with them, and that didn't really work. But this attack ended up being in the 70%. It was conservative enough with the blimp, the Yeti blimp again, to take down the town hall. Even though I didn't, in hindsight, end up needing the Yeti blimp to take down the town hall because my balloons went that way anyway, but at the time I didn't know that. So the Yeti blimp in all 3 of these attacks does give you great flexibility. It allows you to take down the town hall or a key set of defenses. So I highly recommend, guys, that you use a Yeti blimp. Hope you enjoyed this, guys. See you next time.